My goodness, we were just coming for some ice cream, and I guess the word got out, huh?
Mitt Romney's campaign bus rolled into Zanesville today for the second time in 6 months. He rallied at Tom's Ice Cream Bowl, calling it the perfect fit for his small business platform.
We're going to champion small businesses like this one right here. We're going to help small business people. And it's not just because we love ice cream.
Romney laid out a 5-point plan that also focused on education, deficit reduction, and of course, energy. It's a chaotic and exotic situation. Dangerous animals are on the loose in Muskingum County after being intentionally freed from a farm at 270 Kopechek Road.
Deputies that first arrived on the scene did find animals outside the fenced area, and we did have to shoot them.
Muskingum County Sheriff Lutz says he received a call around 5:30 that 48 wild animals, including lions, bears, tigers, wolves, and cheetahs, were freed from a rescue shelter. The home belongs to 61-year-old Terry Thompson, who has a felony history and was recently released from prison.
We have found Mr. Thompson at the house. We have confirmed that he is deceased at this point.
I seen all the cops run towards the house, like just get right beside it, and then when I was over there, they told us to get down because the sniper was taking aim.
Neighbors and sheriff cruisers lined the streets of 2nd Avenue and Trinway just after 2:45 p.m. today after dispatchers received multiple 911 calls that 32-year-old Alden Beatty had made threats toward himself and family members. According to Muskingum County Sheriff Matt Lutz, the domestic issue started yesterday at 12,670 2nd Avenue and escalated into a standoff this afternoon. Because Beatty refused to leave the home, Lutz says precautionary measures had to be taken.
It was unclear whether there was any weapons in there. We were trying to ascertain what kind of threats were made towards the family members. So at that point, we secured the outside of the residence, called our SWAT team in.
Oil and gas companies, the big producers, are going to be coming to Ohio. There's a big energy future here.
And with that big future comes fear. Fear of the unknown, and in some cases, fear for the surroundings.
Some people have some fears about traffic, they have environmental fears.
Keynote speaker Michael Levitt says his company works to reduce some of those fears by working around the world with large energy companies to increase local contracts provided, which in turn provides a sense of security. Levitt says it's important to be realistic when it comes to shale.
I'd like to say, Sarah, that no matter what the issues are or problems are, we can figure them out, we'll work them out.
One man's plea to his missing wife and son. Sarah Apple and her son Max were last seen Thursday night. Her husband says he got a text that she would be staying at her mother's, but she never showed up.
If she was going to leave, she would have at the very least called her mother.
Newark detectives are now investigating if Sarah may have been kidnapped or just took off.
Initially, when I got up, I didn't see all the damage. All I saw was this tree here. And as it got daylight, then I realized how bad it was out here.
To put into perspective how strong these winds actually were, you can see right next to me, the roots were completely torn out of the ground. Myrtle Avenue resident Matt Mark says he and his wife were sound asleep when he heard what sounded like an explosion.
I run out in the hallway and see my roof getting ripped off and pouring down rain in my living room and everything getting ruined. And I'm just lucky to be alive.
It was kind of my mother's inspiration. I learned about everything I know from my mom, so I just decided to go for it.
Hayes had been baking cakes at home and dreamt of one day owning a bakery. She did not know it would happen so quickly. Her doors opened just 3 months after the planning began. When Williams Bakery on Market Street closed over 5 years ago, Zanesville was left without a bakery. It's one of the reasons why In Good Taste decided to open. Residents have enjoyed having the bakery. Hayes is building a clientele and people come in daily to taste her samples.
Attorney General Mike DeWine has set up a $75 million grant to tear locations like this down across the state in hopes that property values will rise.
You just think, if I was living in this neighborhood, how bad it would be if I had to put up with this. If my kids, or in her case, her grandkids and great-grandkids, had to play in a neighborhood when you got a house falling down.
In Zanesville alone, there were 403 vacant properties in 2008. Code Enforcement Supervisor Tim Smith estimates, based on accelerated foreclosure rates, that number is now between 500 and 600.
Now I feel she's pleading guilty to take an easy way out a plea bargain, you know, and to help herself.
It's been a little over a year since Tyler Harden was killed, and Kim says time hasn't healed the wound.
Nothing can ever fix it. I can't even say if a life sentence would be enough. It's been hard, real hard. Think about him every day, every day.